Okay, normally I would be standing for these kinds of videos, but today is a special episode. This one is more for hindsight, even more so than all of these. Just this past hour I spent jotting down my list of goals that I want to accomplish over the next 20 years to life. The reason I wrote this list down is, this past week, getting closer and closer to the acceptance of the fact that I really do need a major change in my life. And I've been talking about this major change, which is specified to transitioning into a new job. I've been talking about this all of this year, and we're at the end of month 8 of 2023, and this has been the major change that I've been seeing on the horizon for a long time. Sure, there have been moments where my vision has been cloudier than other times, and I think that there's different things that I need to focus on in order to get closer and closer to my respective goals. But it always comes back to this job is really getting in the way of me being able to focus on my passions, my pursuits, my endeavors. So, I put together a list just because tonight I am thinking clearly, and I've been going about content creation almost inauthentically, because the approach that I've been going at this with is that of an expert or a guru or a person who has his shit together. That's the best way to put it. I've been going at this like a person who has his shit together. And what I have to acknowledge about myself is I am so much the unfinished product. What I understand about myself is that when it comes to my genetic potential, let's just say even sticking in the realm of bodybuilding or body sculpting or achieving a phenomenal aesthetic physique, just sticking within that category, my genetic potential is vast. However, in order to actualize that potential, the amount of discipline that is required exceeds what I currently possess. This applies to every other passion or goal or desire that I want to accomplish in this lifetime. So honestly, the bodybuilding is analogous to the person I have to become in order to achieve in all aspects of life. The more perfect I can make my body and sculpt it to a level that wins competitions. No, I said it first correctly. The more perfect I can make this body, the more refined and the more disciplined I can make my mind through that pursuit. The whole thing's one big metaphor. One big metaphor of perfection. I kind of relate it to that age-old anime theme, like the theme in Naruto, for anyone who watches anime. Granted, it changed over the course of the entire show, but the first couple of seasons, the theme was Naruto being the person who has to work hard in order to compete with the people who are just naturally gifted, and how hard work beats the work of a genius, because that's just the theme. Hard work over genius talent any day of the week. And then when you take hard work and you take genius talent and you bring it together, well, that's when you have a truly dominant force of nature, which is my whole that's the whole thing for me. I realized at some point early enough in my life, maybe 10 years ago, that I may possess potential that exceeds that of the average human being. However, what I was lacking in was drive, was perseverance, was discipline, was proper motivation to actually see things through to completion. And this next journey of becoming financially independent, competing in bodybuilding competitions, and just overall succeeding at life will require me to obtain those skills, those practices, those behaviors that I am currently lacking in. And I will ultimately end up becoming that dominant force of nature that I believe I can be when I combined my, like I said, genetic potential with the proper behaviors to match it. With that being said, 8 minutes into this video, I am going to go down my list of goals for my life, just so I have it on tape, and I'll refer back to it. Let's read it. Okay, so it is August 25th, 2023. I turn 32 in 2 weeks, September 6th. Number 1, find a new job. Why? This current job is too demanding. It drains me. It is stressful, and I can't juggle the responsibilities associated with this job while simultaneously focusing on my own personal endeavors. I do believe that I can only have one priority at a time. I must prioritize my story. What's the timeline to find a new job that pays $3,500 to $4,000? 4 to 8 weeks sounds reasonable to me. Number 2, reach 5% body fat. Why? A couple of reasons. First and foremost, I've been talking about it for years now and have yet to do it. Another reason is I want to do something that's difficult. I want to experience what that feels like. All I have to do is not give up. It is just that simple. I will weigh myself daily. Timeline for this is 6 to 8 weeks. 2 months tops. which means by end of October, I will be at 5% body fat. I may have to lower the calories more, lower the carbs, more light intensity, steady state cardio, but I can do it. Number 3, write my first book. We're not counting the Narcissist as my first book. That was a manuscript. My first book will be The Way of the Shred. It will document the journey leading up to my first bodybuilding competition. I should start writing it now so I can work on the prose. 12 to 24 months to complete. Number 4, compete in a bodybuilding competition with the aim to win it. Little caveat there. Natural bodybuilding is the name of the game. Sculpting my body into a work of art. The book will be a complementary piece to the body. So it's like, you got the body, and then you have the book, and they go hand in hand. 12 to 24 months to complete. Number 5, work with 5 clients for free and get them results. I need to work with individuals and practice this interaction. Need to get good at this. Very important. Timeline to get 5 free clients, 6 months. This will allow me time to transition jobs and get acclimated to my new position wherever I end up. So 6 months to get 5 clients that I will train/consult with for free and get them results. Number 6, film a scripted project promoting the future TV show. What should the first one be? I could get this executed within the next 36 months, absolutely. Perhaps it'll tell the story of preparing for my second bodybuilding competition. I kind of like that idea. Number 7, get a bedroom for my son. That one is all about money. If I moved in with my girlfriend into a 2-bedroom or even a 1-bedroom similar to how my homeboy Vito and his wife live, Zion would have his own space. Timeline for that is 3 to 4 years, 4 years max. My son Zion will be 7 by then, and I don't want to share a bed with him by then. What do I have to do in order to afford a second bedroom for my son? Make more money. Online training and content creation. I must become a fitness influencer. Number 8, set up an online training business where I work with 25 clients, charging a minimum of $40 a week on a monthly basis. Timeline for this is 3 to 4 years. Number 9, write my magnum opus, tentatively titled The Enlightened One. We're going to have to play with time on this one. It's speculative fiction. By the time I get to writing this, some of the events of the past may not be as meaningful to include in the novel, but still, the story must be written, even if the story is about writing it. Timeline for this is 5 to 6 years from now. 6 years from now is 2029. I will be 38, still in prime physique, even more so. Number 10, become a millionaire. Sales. Must get good at sales. Sales and then investing. Timeline for this is 10 years. I will be 42. Number 11, produce a TV show. The King's Collective, tentative title. The show will be about a Tony Robbins-esque figure and the self-help empire he has built, to be fleshed out more over time. 11 years. I will be 43. Star in the show for 7 seasons tops, up to age 50. Finish the series. Number 12. Write the sequel to my magnum opus, The God of Reality, tentative title. Kill the character, retire the character of the apex of all alphas, 12 to 15 years from now. Number 13. Ride off into the sunset. collaborate with like-minded individuals, make movies, create until I die. Age 55 and onwards. Hit billionaire status in the process. So there you have it. My goals for my life. Written out in 13 easily comprehensible steps. It was actually fun to take the time to write this out, because now it's down. I've never done that, as shocking as it is to admit. Sure, I've talked about it, and in some moments I have written out aspirations, but never in such a concise form. Just plotting out the step by step. First I need to do this, then I need to do that. It was nice. What I like most is how the goals get bigger and bigger, yet they start off so goddamn small. Number one being get a new job. Finding a job that pays me $3,500 on the low end and $4,000 on the high end. Anything else is just gravy. Then the second goal is a bit harder. 5% body fat. I'm excited. I think the reason why I wasn't even able to come up with this list this entire year is because I've been so distracted. Not knowing how to get from point A to point B. And it's because I've just been unwilling to admit what that first step is. As strange as it is, I don't have any emotional attachment to this job or the people in it. I have to admit that it's the fear of unknown that has been stopping me all this time. That fear of finding myself in a situation that's worse than what I'm currently in. But, and you know, I hated waiting tables. But honestly, I have to open myself up to the possibility that waiting tables might suit my needs more. I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to end up doing next, but I really do have to open myself up to all the possibilities, acknowledging that a day job is required, whatever it looks like, and as long as it affords me the time and the peace of mind to focus on my other steps, my 5%, my writing my first book, competing in a bodybuilding competition, working with 5 clients for free and getting them results, filming a scripted project promoting the TV show that I'll be producing in the future, getting a bedroom for my son, which will require me to successfully set up an online training business, online training and consulting, becoming successful at this, content creation, developing a following, more writing, becoming a millionaire first. Excuse me. Can't lead the cart without the horse and the wagon, and you get it. If you excuse me, I'm gonna sit still for a moment and really reflect on these goals. process the gravity of what it is that I actually want to accomplish in this life. Also consider what it would mean to fail. Up until this point, I was always so optimistic about how smooth of a ride this ascension would be. I didn't know until very recently just how much I had to change in order to win at life. I thought I was born ready. In fact, one of the most memorable moments of my young adult life, which I'll probably talk about more in the future and write about in the various novels that I get published. But this moment, it always stands out to me, where I was at a casting call. No, it was a workshop in New York. I had moved up to Newark to be closer to my then girlfriend at the time, and I was taking trips into New York to get into the acting world. And there was this workshop that was being hosted by a casting director, and there was like 50 actors in the room, and the casting director is talking and he's giving this whole spiel, but basically at the end of it, the actors get excused and each one gets to go in, and you've prepared a monologue to perform in front of this casting director. So I go in, and it's just me and the casting director alone, and I do this monologue that, in hindsight, it was okay. It was alright. It was just I wouldn't give myself an Oscar. Let's just put it to you that way. And the casting director, after I finished, he said that I had potential, and that if I continued to work at it, he could see me doing quite well. And I remember, like I said, I'll never forget it. I'm just like sitting there in the chair across from this guy, and I just go, well, what about right now? Like, why can't I, like, what's stopping me from going on to the next step right now? And he looked me in the eye and he said, you're not ready. You're not ready. You need more time. You need to hone your craft more. You're just not ready. And ever since then, whenever I find myself gearing up for what feels like the next level in anything, in literally anything, I can see that casting director and I can hear his voice, and I just hear him say the words, "You're not ready." And honestly, ever since then, I have been working to prove that man, who is now no longer just a person but a voice in my head, a figment of my imagination almost, but to prove that figment wrong, that I am in fact ready. Now, ever since then, not even, it's always been extremely lofty goals. Hence why, to actually say I'm not ready to take over the world, when does a person become ready for that? It takes time. In short, that casting director was right. I was not ready. But I will always keep working to be. Until one day, it will be irrefutable. And I will never have to ask myself again. That's the plan anyway. That's the story I want to tell. Well, this is a little heart to heart. See you guys in the next one.